yet. To say out loud because I feel a little guilty is the way that this is manifesting. I had 8 messages in my various mailboxes yesterday asking to pick my brain, and I think it's based off of all the social stuff that we're doing.
Mhm.
But I just wanted to say to anybody who's watching this video, and I'll probably post about this later, I'm not being passive aggressive when I send people my, because here's what I started to do, dude. I used to get like 2 or 3 a week, and now I got 8 in a day, and so I just sent my paid booking link, and I was like, if you want to talk, you can schedule, but you have to pay money for, because there's no way I can hop on that many calls.
No,
It doesn't make any damn sense.
We would just do consulting 24/7.
We would, yeah. Well, and it would be free consulting.
Free.
Everybody wants to like let's do lunch. It's like, I know what that means. It means you want to ask me all your questions, and I get a $12 sandwich from Panera. Thank you, not. Yeah, no. So if you're one of the people, or if you end up watching this video, I'm not trying to be cruel or unusual. I just don't have the time to accommodate that type of thing, and I'm sure John doesn't either.
Well, we do have consulting clients that are paying, the full asking price.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
So it's kind of, what I would say is, it's not to say like, hey, this is the model, but it's unfair to them. That it's like, so why do I pay, but you do this for free? It's like, we kind of have to, whether we push the buttons or not, it's still the knowledge. So that's kind of the takeaway.
The reality.
Yeah.
You ready to rock with some Q&A?
Let's do it.
Khalid says, can I use 2 Performance Max campaigns in the same account? The budget is $300 for each, one optimized for tROAS and one optimized for maximized conversion value. What will happen?
I love this question. So yes, but they are going to fight, and I have no idea what's going to happen, and neither does Google. And that's what's best. So what's funny is here's be my opinion, run them consecutively, don't run them concurrently. So if you want to do a test between tROAS or maximize and maximize conversion value, know that your maximized conversion value without a tROAS defaults at 200%. So now you have essentially a tROAS of whatever you set plus a tROAS of 200%. So
I thought it was 150.
Well, it's 150 officially, and then a person that I was brought in to deal with the product team, who was super smart. I love this lady. She was amazing. Like, me and her were rapping back and forth with strategy questions, and like flowing like water. And the other person that brought me in was just like, you guys like each other.
You guys talk pretty.
So she's like, yes, we actually increased it recently to 200%. I'm like, oh.
Dude, this is a catastrophic error. What if I need a 100% ROAS? What if my LTV is like through the roof and I don't mind spending money?
That's what I told her. And I said, well, what if you wanted to do it below? She's like, well, if you set your tROAS lower than 200%, just use maximized conversion. It's the same thing. I'm like, that's fair.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
She was smart.
Stop changing it too.
Right. I know. Well, it's funny is I understand why they did. They're going to take a whole bunch of people with smart shopping campaigns, push them to Performance Max, and to save them from themselves, get them a 200% ROAS.
Yeah, they needed a minimum threshold. That makes sense. I forgot. I'm so sorry. I'm going to shout out our new members. Do you mind?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alfred Alonso, Mark Ferguson, David Morgan, Zayed Shergao, Militia Oakleaf Wilson, former student at 3X Shopify. Thank you, Militia.
Hey.
Serhi Hansev, Sean Meisel. And then OK Pelivan and Homan Young. We love you very dearly and deeply for giving us money. Sir Hayes here. Ryan says, we're testing a new theme. Oh, I forgot to show the things.
Let's do it. All right.
We're testing a new theme for our website, but whenever we do it, it causes a dip in Google Ads performance. Why would this be the case? Side note, we verified that tracking was set up correctly.
Yeah, so depending on what you're doing instead of Google Ads, but Google Ads on search is actually a search plus DSA campaign. And what I mean by that is Google is actually taking your Google Search Console and indexing what it believes it knows about your business and using that, even if you're bidding phrase match or exact match on search, for example. So what this means is when they say, hey, how is your landing page experience? What it's doing is also, and your quality score is also what is on your website. So when Google says, okay, if you're going to bid on that keyword, let me check your website first. I understand who you are and what you are about. I've read your H1 through H6 tags. I've seen your schema markup. I see your title tag. I see your description tag. I see your alt image tags. I now know everything about your website. And then it has performance and it builds off of that. Well, then all that changes and it says, okay, new website. New website. So now I got to relearn, then reestablish. So anytime you make large theme changes, what you're doing is you're not necessarily making everything look different from Google. You're changing where things were and what it knew about you. It's almost like you put your shoes on the same shelf every day, and then you put your shoes in the kitchen, and you're going to look at the shelf and be like, uh-oh, now you got to stop and look around and find out your shoes are in the kitchen. The shoes are still in the house. They're just in a different position. Same exact thing.
Well, to the point that you just made too, it's not, Google doesn't just go catalog a site and say, okay, I understand it. Google's understanding is based off of its monitoring of the interaction that other people have with the site. So it's user driven, which means that it needs more users in order to understand. So even if the content is the same, if the theme is restructured enough for Google to say, I'm going to wait and see how people perform.
Or how do I find the new people, because now this is what I see differently than what I saw before.
Yeah.
One way to speed this up is if you do a theme update, hop into Google Search Console, re-index your site. That'll help speed that up if you have to make a theme change.
Serhi, how do PMax campaigns interact with your remarketing tag and audiences? If I don't add the audience generated by the tag to the signals, won't the PMax remarketing?
So PMax campaigns react with your remarketing audience either through ID or ecom prod ID. So that is actually its audience. You don't necessarily have to add a remarketing audience to Performance Max for it to remarket, because it's going to leverage ecom prod ID and or ID.
What an interesting role, though, because we know that PMax doesn't remarket as well as Smart Shopping did, which is why we do dynamic remarketing. So doesn't it stand to reason that if you added the remarketing audience to PMax, it would prioritize the remarketing audience?
Yes, and so you can actually, the way that we've done this is you add it as its own asset group, and then you genericize that asset group. So add your previous site visitors from 30, 60, 90, 540 days ago, your previous website converters, if you wanted it, if you have good LTV, you add in a essentially remarketing asset group, and that will prioritize those remarketers, prioritize that remarketing audience inside Performance Max. If you did not, it will still try to find them. And if it can't, it tries to just show a generic display ad without maybe even a product attached to it from your listing group. So it might just be like a banner of your logo and your site title, your title text from one of your asset groups.
We should just be relying on dynamic remarketing.
Right. If you really want to focus on remarketing, I found that YouTube remarketing works better than dynamic remarketing. Dynamic remarketing is extremely polarizing to PMax. So sometimes you add dynamic remarketing and it complements it very well. Sometimes you add dynamic remarketing and both of them start to show poor performance, because I think, and this is anecdotal because I can't prove it because PMax is a black box of, oh my gosh, there is so much fighting going on that it actually starts to spend in either channel, but then based on your attribution model, you're going to see different things. So a lot of times if you have data-driven or even first click or linear, you're going to see very little come through your dynamic remarketing, but your view through conversions will be high. But then you see, but if you add,
you're so smart. That is a super sleuth thought right there. Like that's straight up Sherlock and Google Ads. That's freaking brilliant that you'd even piece that together. What's happening?
Yeah, and what's funny is if you're using last click attribution, though, you're going to start to see your PMax campaign go down, because if they click on that remarketing campaign more often, you're right. So you have to take a look at how am I structuring, how am I measuring it, and then what is the overall effect, cash in, cash out, like what I spend, what I make, is that rising? Regardless of if you have a lower ROAS in PMax because you add dynamic remarketing, but you have to see dynamic remarketing perform better, or at least your brand starting to go up, because they keep getting hit with these display ads and they finally just Google the brand that comes into your brand, not your PMax campaign. Again, think about your attribution model. How are you measuring it?
Can I ask you a question about remarketing? This is my question. For remarketing audiences, I've seen some of the more academic types, especially the course creators, talk about splicing your remarketing up based off of user intent. So they've been to this many pages. They've stayed on site this long. They've gone to this specific key trigger page, whatever. How important do you think that really is, or do you just batch and blast to everybody that came to the site?
The problem is that even your source of analytics is going to have a tough time really pinpointing those people, and then you need 1,000 of them. So the problem that I see is, if you have that much of a choppy user experience that these people are stopping at those odd points in your remarketing, so much so that it's so powerful to target them at a high level, then yes, I don't find that to be the case most often. Most often what I see is, and if you have different offers, so traditionally before Performance Max, or even just don't run Performance Max if you want to do that, honestly, because you're just going to, it's like, all right, here's everything that's going to happen. And then you bring in this little, kleptomaniac that's going to try to steal from every one of those areas every single time. It's like, wonder why it didn't work.
It just goes back to trying to outsmart the machine. It's like, you're not smarter than the machine. Give the machine the data and it will figure it out for you.
The best thing you could do is just exclude people that stayed less than 10 seconds, just globally. Only because those are your bouncers. And I don't really mind if that one time they visited was less than 10 seconds, but then they came back and stayed for 2 minutes. Perfect. I didn't exclude them. I'm only excluding the bouncers, because you're getting like the VPN traffic, the bot traffic, the click farm traffic. Excluding those people really helps sometimes shave off 30% of ineffective spend on remarketing. So take an analytic audience, always exclude the users that had the session duration less than 10 seconds, and then make any sort of minor adjustments. Where I would see this as being more tactical, we're saying, hey, if you went to this site or this page, and then you looked at this page, you went to your product page and your checkout page and left, there's your abandoned checkout. Perfect. Or they stayed longer than 3 minutes. Okay, you got a more engaged user. I wouldn't get too heavy into the weeds because you burn through that audience so quickly that it's not replenishable. Imagine, on YouTube remarketing, and you get 1 penny views, and you have 1,200 people in there. I could burn through that with $50.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of dead in the water again. So make sure that audience that you're targeting is self-fulfilling high enough that it makes sense to segment down that far.
Can I read you the funny thing that happened in chat?
Yeah.
Ryan says, thanks guys, you're amazing. Kasim, what is your favorite book behind you? And John, why do you hate books? And then Dave Fogel says, John is a minimalist in plaid.
I can't read.
John's already smart enough. My favorite book is, am I going to be able to get to it? It's that one. It's Charles Dickens, David Copperfield. Sure, hey. Would you recommend creating a signal with users who have seen certain products, abandoned the cart, or checked out to make them dynamically marketing with the PMax and close the sale?
I wouldn't use it in PMax, no. I would actually make its own remarketing campaign specifically, because I think that you can really justify the right message is going to get to them. Inside of Performance Max, you have to hope that person is a strong enough signal, that is repeated enough signal, that Google's not going to go off on its own and find additional signals that kind of just waters down that audience too much. So if you say, hey, I like to add it and whatever happens, absolutely. But if I like to have it and measure it and control it and increase spend and CPA and ROAS, then you need its own dedicated remarketing campaign.
I didn't mean to shut you up with my question. I just pressed the button too soon. Arms of Andes, Ola from Peru. Do you recommend using negative keywords in PMax? We can't yet, but Google might be able to. We have keywords where we appear number one and our competitors do not bid. For examples are our brand name, as well as alpaca base layers, etc.
Yeah. I just ran this test last week and to really good results, but it was for a specific use case. So we have a client that we spend 15 grand a day on, and Performance Max was about 30% brand. We excluded the brand from Performance Max. The only way you could do
that, just the Google team? Okay.
The only way you could do it is reaching out to your rep. That's the only way. Only they will have the ability to do so.
But they keep telling us we're going to get it. Somebody told Caden like 2 days ago that we were going to get it.
I know. I don't believe him anymore. Here's the bad part, though. When I called the rep, and we literally did a turnaround in this company for the last 4 months. Like we went from crashing and burning to a big drop off to now we're better than what we were at the peak of this year. So we know what we're doing, and the rep there, who's a higher up rep that knows us, fought us on excluding PMax. And I had to come up with a reason as to why it was a better idea to do it my way than her way. And the reason why we did this is because I said, hey, we're going to need to exclude the brand name from Performance Max. We need to put the brand name into its own brand campaign. And I'm going to spend $5,000 a day on that brand name. And I'm now spending $3,000 per day on that brand name at a 4.5x return. It's good. The client wants to do this. It's okay. But the reason why we did this is because I'm going to run YouTube at $5,000 a day and see, can I start to spend more in the brand? And what the side effect was is my Performance Max campaign lost 5% of spend and 3% of revenue, which means our ROAS went up a little bit. But 80 and 78 and like 82% increases in non-branded terms and like 94% decrease in branded terms. It didn't wipe it out completely, but it got rid of 94% of them. So the good part is my PMax stayed the same in terms of performance. A lot new customers came in. My brand campaign gets a good ROAS. So all in all that happened was we spent more, we made more money, we got more new customers. But when you reach out to your rep and say, I'd like to exclude brand, they're going to say, why? And your answer that works for me is, well, I'm going to start a brand campaign and max that out so I know that we're capturing everything and I'm going to measure them differently. And I know that there is return. I know that there is people that are seeing YouTube and Googling the brand. I'm okay with that. I'm just looking at overall as a whole, how do I increase spend in both areas?
Tony Schnuck, who might be a client, by the way. I saw him come through our lead flow.
Hello, sir, or ma'am. I'm sorry.
Whoever. Hello, person. We do a YouTube channel where we showcase products. Should we use subscribers, views, and likes for an audience for PMax, and what's the best way to implement it other than specific video for asset groups?
Yes. So we had another client. I can't say their name because I don't know if they want to be public, but it's a company that teaches you how to play guitar. And what was really interesting is their YouTube base was ripe for the picking. Is perfect. It was a low hanging fruit. And one thing that we are doing as a strategy, because I think they just signed up like a week or two ago. The one thing that we're doing as a good strategy is we're taking all of this low hanging fruit and we're providing them reasons as to why they should purchase. Here is the big step that we have to overcome with this is you have an audience that already is going to buy from you and already knows who you are. So launching a Performance Max campaign to essentially ask the same people who are already watching your YouTube videos, would you like to buy? It's like, no, I would have bought already if I already know who you are. I watch your YouTube videos. I'm a subscriber. What you have to do, what we did is we had a subscription service. That subscription service says, yes, you're following our YouTube channel, learning how to play guitar really well, but if you pay us money, this is the extra stuff you can't get off of YouTube. Now, this is a different model than what yours is, but yours is still going to have a very similar audience, which means if we launch Performance Max, are we actually going to make more money? Maybe not, if we're targeting the same people they could have bought from us at any time already. So we have to provide some sort of value proposition to these subscribers. Right now, everyone on this channel, would you hire us? Well, I have to make a value proposition as to why it's going to be more valuable if you pay us money and hire us individually than just watching our YouTube channel and joining our lives. And that is with the strategy session where we go through all this stuff. For us, I would say, yes, we absolutely want to use the subscribers, views, and likes as a audience. Most likely the viewed this ad as a person that viewed this video online as not an ad, that's going to be an audience group. We'll build those audience groups. We'll definitely go after them. That should be the focus, though. That's going to be can we pick up some low-hanging fruit? But the growth factor is going to come with our cold traffic. That's my belief. Only because I don't want, if you ever do hire us, that's not going to be my area that I'm going to rely on. I will go after them. I won't rely on it because those are people that it's like, hey, this person comes into my store every single day. If I pay them to come into the store, are they going to buy something? Nah, not really. They're going to be coming here anyway. So that's the thing that we have to find is that unique selling proposition, unique value proposition to get them into being a purchaser or go to cold traffic.
This YouTube channel is the scariest thing for a service-based agency because so many of our clients watch our YouTube channel and then they go to our client managers being like, Kasim and John said this and you're not doing this, so now we got to hold you. And it's like, well, there's so many exceptions to these rules.
Yeah, there's like a yes, but yeah, I know.
Oh, we got 2 new members, Mark Ferguson and Aussie Ace. Badass name. Dave Fogel says you're worth more than a $12 sandwich, at least a $2 drink on top. I know Dave lives in the Midwest now because there's not $2 drinks anywhere but Springfield, Missouri. Alfred Alonso. Now that local campaigns are being converted to PMax, what are the top 3 things to know to run PMax for local real estate lead gen?
Don't run local for real estate lead gen.
Don't run anything for real estate lead gen.
Here's the thing: is local is going to be
completely... Go back to college, Alfred. I'm just kidding. And I'm not trying to be mean. Yeah. Real estate is so hard right now, especially.
Real estate lead gen is a hot market. Here's the problem that I find with local campaigns: there really isn't anything that you're going to do differently inside of Performance Max that that local campaigns are not already going to do on its own.
What market are you in, Alfred, just out of curiosity? Because that'll be way different.
Yeah, the local campaigns are amazing for local brand awareness, and you're going to scoop up leads for sure. Absolutely. You didn't even need to do anything for that to happen. You just needed to basically stand up on your roof digitally and say, I'm over here. And they're like, oh, awesome. And then people flock to you. For local lead generation for real estate, the area that I find works the best is manual CPC with search campaigns. And there's really no difference between raw and phrase match. Exact. Go ahead.
Alfred's nationwide, but keeps getting local requests. That's different.
If you're nationwide,
you're doing nationwide real estate,
then local campaigns aren't going to work because you can't even choose a targeting location for local campaigns.
Yeah, what do you mean keep getting local requested, Alfred? Are you the real estate investor, or are you an agency working with real estate companies that are asking you to run local campaigns?
Yeah, that's a good distinction because local campaigns nationwide, it's potato.
Well, you know who we did that for? I won't say their name, but we were building all those little GMBs using UPS store boxes.
Yep.
That got shut down, but when it was working, it was amazing. Okay, so Alfred's an agency. So Alfred works with real estate professionals on a nationwide scale, trying to make local work. I can tell you, Alfred, John and I had a real estate agency for 7 years. We refused. That's why I said that really cruel thing that I said about going back to college. Now I feel bad about it. I'm sorry. We refused to work with local realtors because it was there were more. I heard this the other day. I don't know if it's true. Somebody fact check me. There are more realtors in Los Angeles than there are houses for sale. Like it's a snake eating its own tail.
And that's what I'm saying is like I think the big thing that I would say works is positioning, even if it's low volume. If you can pay $40 a click but only 4 clicks a day, it's going to be a lot better than running a local campaign where you're just hoping something comes in soon.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. And if you're and go a little bit more long tail with it. It's hard because it's like, okay, you and probably no joke, 5,000 other people that can sell a home within a 25-mile radius of you are all gonna try to win each other on Google Ads. And let's say what's the percentage of those that run? Let's say it's 1%. Cool. I got 500 people you're going against for the top 4 spots. You're gonna win one of those 4 spots. I'm not saying there's 5,000. I'm just using an example that we've been in this space so long and so many times that the only thing that worked was expensive positioning. And even then, sometimes you generate a $400 lead, and you're like, yeah, I'm thinking about next year. You're like, crap, that was not $400 worth. So if you wanted to run your local campaigns, you have to be a manager of each one of those Google My Businesses. You can, and if you're going to run PMax for local campaigns, you can still do that. Load up your asset groups with obviously your keywords. Set your targeting really small. Your local campaigns are going to run 8 to 15 mile radiuses anyway on their own. I don't know. Here's the problem is I'm an agency. And so it's like, I need that to come in there to cost that much and do this. Local campaigns are like, we're running your ads. Good luck. Yeah. It's pretty much it. So
advertising. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Well, you know, Alfred goes, I was hoping PMax would save the day. I deal with investors only, by the way, no agents. That gives me more hope for you, Alfred. I'd still say don't run local campaigns because local campaigns are going to lend themselves a little bit more to local retail-based traffic.
Right. If you said you run
investors only.
Investors only.
Yeah. So here's what I tell you, Alfred, just my opinion. If I started our real estate investment agency over again, we sold it in 2019. If I started today, I wouldn't take wholesalers. I'd take fix and flippers or buy and holds, because somebody who's doing a fix and flip and somebody who's doing buy and hold can pay way more for the property, so I can bid more for the click. If they're wholesaling, that means that they're making money within the margins on the periphrasis, and now they have a less efficient business model. And honestly, any agency listening to this, you have to look at your client's model. If they have an inefficient model, we had somebody come in that only sells life insurance. Well, all the insurance companies use life insurance as a loss leader because they know that they're going to get your home and your auto and your health and your whatever. So if he's only selling life insurance, you can't take him. Creative financiers. Yeah, absolutely. So creatively structured deals, man. There's so much money on the front.
I don't want to give away the IP, but the way that we made this successful was many, many, many different of the same campaigns targeted to many, many areas that we want to be in. So
tedious as hell.
Yeah, like we had 60 campaigns. Now they're all the same with minor tweaks here and there. Yeah. Keywords, bidding strategy, budgets, etc. But my opinion was like, let's say you're in 50 cities, you have 50 campaigns targeting 50 cities using very similar keywords that you crowdsource to see that have worked in other cities and then replicate that success elsewhere. So that's my opinion.
You remember Greg running in with those Google Sheets of his and like 70 some odd tabs, and we'd have to sit through every single one of them. Abir, I'm just going to show this because this is a kind thing to say. Abir says you shouldn't have to justify limitations on your time. You're already super generous. Thank you, Abir.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Dan Rosette. Hey, I was wondering, when creating YouTube retargeting campaigns, do you choose the new YouTube campaign update where you can connect your merchant account and have the campaign show all the products?
Yes, I actually use, well, here's what's funny. Yes and a no. So my opinion is I'm testing the difference between running sales where you don't connect a feed and use maximize conversions, where you do run a target CPM or target CPV with a feed connected, so you're running YouTube shopping. I'm having more success still without the feed, but it's not to say that the one with the feed isn't working. It's just not working as effectively because I haven't tested it long enough and for enough money and all my strategy ideas. So far, don't still shy away from the non-feed related sale generation campaign using TrueView for action. Still use those. Those are still the tried and trues. But I have not tested with the feed enough to say that it is viable. And when I say viable, I have one campaign using YouTube remarketing. Actually, I can actually share my screen on this one.
Hey, y'all are in for a treat.
Hey, share time.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So this gentleman's actually been on our channel before, and he is amazing. It's Boris.
Oh, dude. Yeah, he's one of the most sophisticated entrepreneurs I've ever met. We should have him on again.
He's amazing.
Would you want to do that?
I think so. So let me see when you all see my screen here.
We got it.
There we are. So Performance Max YouTube remarketing, $325 a day, $150 a day. I'm spending $475 a day. Last 30 days, I spent 10 grand and made 43,000. On the YouTube remarketing, I spent 600 to make 5 grand. So what's nice about this, I'm getting
pause you for just a minute. I hate to kill your flow, but I just want to make a really, really, really important point. You spent 10 grand and made 40,000 for a business that has a tail that I don't think has an end. Their LTV is off the charts. So 10 for 40 is really 10 for 400.
Their break-even ROAS is 1.8, 180%, and they make a profit at 181.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. So this is, talking to the agencies again, go find clients like this that can actually afford to pay for traffic. Sorry, man.
No, it's all good. But that's what's funny is my PMax getting 400, my YouTube remarketing is getting 846. Now this is running it without a feed. Now the other part though is I have a bunch of different videos in here, and I have one remarketing group, but there's the different videos in here, and I think I have like 11 that I'm running right now. No, I've paused a few since then. How many am I live with right now? I'm live with 7. So I have 7 videos, and they're high quality videos. So just make sure that you know what you're doing. It's not just like sticking in a brand awareness video and being like, why isn't this working? And that's what I think would have that's important. If you're not going to win the click by putting the product with like a sale price to the remarketing audience right on the right hand side, don't rely on a video that's like shop at our site because our site's awesome to shop at. Like, don't do that.
You sell things and you should buy them.
Right. Have a strategy. Our YouTube remarketing strategy is all the people that have gone through their curly hair journey. So people are like, I wonder if I should buy these products. Be like, this is my before, this is my after. Look at my hair curl now. This is what I'm doing. I use it every day. So I am beating you over the head with people who have used it successfully. If you're wondering if you should buy it too, be strategic with it.
Dave says, Kasim, can you tell us where to go to find clients like that? I know you're being passive aggressive, Dave. Here's the thing. The clients will come to you. It's your job to make sure you push the wrong ones away. Out of the 10 clients that land in your lap, you should be taking one. And I'm telling you, and John can tell you too, because we used to take everybody. It'd be like, oh, you want to give us money? Sure. And they cost you more than they make you. So your whole role should be negative selling, and you can do so with integrity. Everybody that runs into us is better off having run into us, regardless of whether or not we work together. But only bring on clients that you think can be successful. So the average agency retention is 6 months. Did you know that? It's a HubSpot statistic. It's 4 to 6 months. You're not profitable 4 to 6 months. So these agencies are churning and burning clients, hoping that they can eke out a little bit of profit before the client figures out that what the agency is doing is not working, and then they go try to churn more clients. So
triple count conversions.
Dude, for real. Yeah, just find the clients that'll be successful, and if that slows your growth, that's great.
Here's the other part too: is do all the work up front, all the work.
Yeah.
I mean, give away the whole farm. You see how we operate here. Like if you come to me and are like, hey, what do we do? I'm like, I do that, do this, do this, put this here, do that, build that here. And I think after 6 months, this is what you can expect. And if they're like, okay, the only next step is sign here, please. If they're like, I don't agree with that, be like, well, good thing we didn't try that.
Yeah, no joke. Speaking of Dave Fogel, I just got 2 clicks for $30 a piece, but Google won't show me the search term due to low volume, but it shows me 5 search terms with 1 impression and no clicks. WTF.
Yep. Yeah. So I've had it where I have, let's say 10 conversions. 6 of the conversions out of the 10 conversions are shown from hidden search terms because they're not searched well enough. I'm like, that's the majority of my conversions. Like, why are you hiding that? That can't be harder first party data than right there.
Dude, I do like 0-click search terms though. I think
I
that's
love that,
really
yeah.
generous. You know, if you can say such a thing about Google.
You know what's funny is like I noticed that if I look at the zero click and higher than 1 impression search terms versus the 1 click and a high impression search terms, they're so widely different from each other that it's like,
It's
well,
machine
yeah,
learning, right? It's like you kind of watching a machine figure it out.
yeah. I'm like, I hop in there one time and I sort by impressions, like, oh my god, this is all wrong, and then I sort by clicks. I'm like, oh, everything's fine.
That's so funny. Dave, I wonder if there's any quality score with PMax. There's definitely quality scores in the assets.
There's more quality score in PMax than any other campaign. I guarantee it. And that's because it is so heavily automated that we've had sites that didn't have much text on fail.
Alfred asks, will you be coming out with a paid PMax course or group? Hint, hint.
Yes, it's called Hire Us.
Yeah. Well, so here's just so people know, we tried courses, and our course was expensive. It was $1,000 a pop. It was hard.
We have a Friday meeting called Arguments with John in my calendar, and every Friday we have how many members? We have 13 people, so 12 people plus me, and we hop on and we beat up the newest, latest, and greatest strategies that we found work with PMax. The problem is you'd pay us money and then have to pay us money again every month.
Change. Yeah. And then to do a membership, like how do we keep that info? Here's the thing, y'all. We don't know how to do courses or memberships. So if somebody has an idea and they want to come do it for us, and then
my problem is, here's the thing: if I put out a course, I have to delete that course in a month.
Yeah.
Just because of someone.
We built an e-commerce masterclass, y'all. We built an e-commerce masterclass that was amazing, and then Google 30 days later said Performance Max, and we were like, mother.
I know. So I would say it's out of high integrity that we don't. And I'm not saying that because like, well, the only option to do is hire us. No, I'm sitting here on a Friday for pretty much for free, telling you everything I know. It's not that we're not trying to hide this stuff. Is that if you go 3 months ago and follow through and everything fails, and then you come on live, you're like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. You'd be like, well, I paid you for the course. And be like, well, you shouldn't have done that. So, yeah, it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
At least right now it is.
Dave, do you have any water flood damage clients? If so, any tips? Clicks are very expensive. Switch to manual CPC. Dude, don't try to keep costs down. You want to pay for the expensive clicks. You need to be all the way at the tippity top and make sure they convert like freaking crazy. Don't try to go low CPL in that industry.
We have a client that does dog bite and car accident attorneys. PMax spent a whole bunch, got a whole bunch of clicks, got 1 or 2 leads. One of them was crazy. They're like, I want to sue like the president of the world. Like we're like, oh man, like this person.
I knew there was a president of the world. I've had my suspicions.
I know. Like that person was like 2 o'clock in the morning, to be like, I need the best attorney. Like I'm like, oh, okay. So it was weird. Yeah. But then
quality is at the top is a ubiquitous truth. Bid to be on the top.
Man,
and then if it doesn't work, the industry's burned.
We kept getting these little like hints that it might work someday, and we're like, all right, let's try it for another week. All right, let's try it for another week. We turned it off. We went $50 eCPC. It actually bid us down to $42 CPC and 3 leads in the first week. So
Dave says $171 a click. His budget is $200 a day, and he's freaking out. He's in the wrong business.
Well, I wouldn't. My click for first page is $110, and I'm bidding 50, and I'm getting 4 and 10% convert or click through rates. So I would challenge that to say yes. Top of page bid. Let me ask where you're getting that bid, and I'm not saying no. Like you absolutely, if you say, hey, just for me to get an impression, I have to bid up to 120. Okay, that sucks. Sorry, like that's actually true. Mine, the client's like bid $200. I'm like, we have $300 a day. He goes, I bid $200. I'm like, let me do 50. Let me just see if I can get that. And boom, click the rates are 4 to 12%. Conversion rates are like 7%. I'm like, nailed it. Perfect. I'm not moving here. Let's just throw more gasoline on this fire. Let's show up more per day. Let's not go in any more aggressive. So unless you, and this is my question is, are you reading that from your stats, like estimated top of page, first page bid, or is it, and where it says bidding below first page bid, so you're low, not showing that much, but you're still getting impressions and the clicks are going to actually click the rate. There's things here to say, like maybe just hang tight for a bit and see, are you actually getting clicks, or do you just not get impressions unless you're bidding that high? And that sucks. I'm sorry that happens. Yeah.
Tommy Dushis now, when transitioning from smart shopping to PMax, what audience signal will it take, and will it use expanded URLs? It doesn't take audience signals, Tommy. It just gets
So here's what happens. When transitioning from smart shopping to PMax, Here's the thing that I don't know. I finally have one account that I'm going to try it with. We finally got the one-click upgrade button. Thank God. Here's everything that I can find, everything that I know. And this is, again, it's going to change next week. So just don't prepare for this. But here's what I have up to date so far, which is why I can't run courses, apparently. The smart shopping campaign, when turns into Performance Max, the only thing that's going to happen is it's not going to create any additional ads but video. It will add video for you, and you will be on YouTube. I have some PMax campaigns that spend half the daily budget on YouTube with poor performance. So be careful if that does happen. Reach out to your rep. Your rep can actually opt you out of the video campaign inside of Performance Max. It's only possible through your rep. They were going to produce a form. They decided against it. It depended on Big Brother, whatever it is. Reach out to your rep and exclude yourself from the YouTube, for the video network. Ask your rep to opt out, to be able to opt out of YouTube. Then no new videos will be coming in. Do not add a signal. If you do not add a signal, Google states that smart shopping campaigns will still target the same people on Performance Max as it did in smart shopping from the same 4 sources. They won't tell me what those 4 sources are. They just said the same 4 sources. I'm like, all right, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, got it. So it's the same 4 sources they're going to pull to. The moment you add an asset group or a signal or a piece of ad copy, your smart shopping campaign is now officially gone. So anytime you make a change to this, it is completely gone. If you do not use a maximize conversion value bidding strategy, and let's say you start it with TCPA or change to TCPA, your smart shopping campaign, gone. So it's like this extremely fragile position. And if you say, hey, I just want to increase budgets and decrease budgets and maybe add and remove my listing groups, which is my products, you can do all that. But if you add a signal or an asset or like a video or a picture, an image, a logo, a text, it now is going to go whoop. It's going to start to forget the people it was trying to remarket to and go instantly towards cold traffic, and you're going to see poor performance. It's just going to die. That's what I've been told. So that's the way to keep it. And when I say die, I mean the old audience that you're used to is going to die. So that's the way to keep the same people without upsetting everything. Just know you're kind of locked in that position, and then you got to strategize your way out of it.
Dude, I think you just saved some people like quite a bit of money. The problem with that is that's one of those issues. Everybody's smart shopping is going to upgrade to PMax. They're all going to go mess with it. It's going to break. Then they're going to call us, and we're going to say, I wish we would have got ahead of you, because if you hadn't touched it, we could help you. I mean, now we can still help you. But we're all starting from scratch.
Here's the thing, folks, and this is just, the John Moran, the businessman. It rhymes.
I'm buying that domain.
This is just John Moran, the businessman, talking here. Is the problem that I think that our phones are going to start to ring is because in the upgrade feature, Google prompts you to start adding in things. It's like, hey, Performance Max is here. You don't have any assets. You don't have any signals. We found a 17% increase in. I actually have the freaking email. I have the email.
Dude, it's so frustrating because Google's going to go cost a bunch of small business owners a bunch of money. They spent years cultivating a smart shopping campaign that's finally humming. They put in $1, they get $5 out, and Google's going to ruin it for them. It's a tragedy.
Watch how aggressive this is getting. Someone reached out to one of our clients from Google, and it was like, here's some thoughts. If there's anything to take away, performance migration is imperative to review ASAP. The algorithm is currently seeing this, and it also sees that, and Performance Max offers 12% more value. What the? I'm sorry, I don't mean to swear here, but what the hell is 12% more value? Is this like the Walmart version of a product? Great value.
I like that you see hell is swearing.
I don't know. I'm very culturally sensitive. It's funny. Smart shopping will be phased out. You spent more than bullet. So they're bolding things. And what's funny is our clients like, hey, I believe we decided that waiting for the campaign to automatically turn to Performance Max for Google's recommendation. Yeah, for this one, I am waiting for the changeover on its own, because this person here has all of their sales come non-e-commerce. So 90% of their sales are done lead generation wise. So if someone comes to the site, they don't buy a product, they call them because they say, hey, I found this on your site, but it's a $12,000 piece of machinery, and what's freight and shipping and costs and other stuff. Everything happens salesperson wise. So Google looks horrible conversions. Smart shopping has been working amazingly for the last year on just the shopping campaign. I'm not touching that because I know that if I show a display ad to a bot versus a versus a person looking inbound on Google and finding a $12,000 product and say, that's 12 grand. All right, I'm interested. Perfect. I got a qualified buyer there. So I'm going to wait for this to transition over and I'm not going to touch it. But Google comes in and it's like, everything sucks and everything's on fire and you must add this now. My client's like, it's funny. It says, I think we need to be removed from the list of this kind of additional help. I didn't hire a third party for nothing. That's what the client said back to Google. I'm like, thank you, sir.
Dude,
Like,
those
awesome.
Google reps call us.
Oh, yeah.
I get a couple of phone calls a day asking like, oh, Google rep for Caden, we can make some improvements to your account. And it's like, no, you can't.
Yeah, it's like he's a strategist. Like, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. So I know that people are just going to get the absolute crap kicked out of them, and from no fault of their own, they're going to follow. And so we're going to see some weirdness coming.
Motivational Mindset just joined. Is a great person. Thank you so much. I don't know if you know this, John. When I created the membership, well, Julian created it for me, but there's 2 tiers. There's like $4 or $5 and then $10. And for the $4 or $5, I call them good people, and for the $10, I call them great people.
You capitalist.
Michael Ariroguzzo is here. What's up, buddy?
Name.
John, any updates on PMax Google made videos versus actual videos related to performance?
They keep getting better. I don't mean to sound stupid. They keep getting better and better and better. And don't tell anybody. I know this is on a live with probably a few thousand people watching, but I still don't recommend doing it, and I don't know why anymore. They work great. I guess I would say
Google's live. They're bringing in a whole bunch of creative production. Like you're not going to need. I thought we were going to have to turn it into a creative agency. You're going to be able to do it all in Google.
Have you seen the YouTube editor?
No.
There's a beta inside that you actually get to start splicing videos and actually creating text overlay and music all within Google Ads. I just realized that I may have violated an NDA. You didn't hear from me, folks. Oh God, I'm not good at this, Google. I'm sorry, but something cool's coming.
Somebody to go edit that one out before we get sued. Dylan.
Oh God, my phone's ringing. They heard that.
John's stream just gets cut.
Just get a bag over my head. I'm like,
what? Should I be using all visitors for a PMax asset group?
Only if you are okay with having their existing audiences be targeted hard, because an all visitor is also an all purchaser. So just know that if anybody's ever been to your site for ever any reason, you're going to try to bring them back, whether they left because they hated you, they bounced, or they did buy. Just know that you're basically trying to bring everybody that's ever been back to your site back. So you can, I would subset down just a little bit further, go maybe in your analytics and say all visitors that stay longer than 10 seconds that didn't buy. Use that as your signal inside of PMax.
Jason James, do you find lower AOV works best with Max to learn because of the high number of transactions?
Do you find a lower AOV works best with Performance Max to learn? No, actually, high AOV works better. Low AOV usually
can't pay for the traffic.
Like let's say maximize conversion value. Maximize conversion value defaults at 2x. And if you have a $20 product, it says, crap, I need to sell this for $10, otherwise I got to pull back spend. So if you have a $300 product, it's like, okay, I tested everything and I know where these people are because I wasted $100 to make that $10 sale like I could have, but I learned that $100 of where this goes. So the more room Google has to learn, which is more expensive, the better it performs. So a higher AOV actually works better.
Zavandis, if a hyper-segmented asset group is doing bad, you mentioned we should shut it off last week. Should we shut off the asset group, the listing group, or should we remove the landing page to the product?
It depends. So if you have a bad asset group, look to see where that asset group is showing up in addition to other asset groups. And you can find that, for example, on the search network inside of search categories. So if you look at search categories and you see one of your best performing keywords and you click on that keyword and it's found in an asset group and your bad performing asset group is in there and it does have clicks, it just means that that asset group isn't actually doing anything. It's earning a seldomly amount of few clicks for every single one of keywords. We're just not converting in there because Google's not pushing it. Shutting off the asset group is good. If you shut off the listing group, that's a whole different portion, technically, of Performance Max. So if you are not hyper segmenting your listing groups by assets, then don't turn it off yet. But if you're leaving all of your listing groups on for all of your assets, then yeah, you can shut it off. It doesn't make a difference.
Abir Syed, how do you diagnose low impression share if you have 10 out of 10 quality score? Assume CPA is greater than TCPA. Lost impression share might be high, but why? The impression share eligible to receive tooltip is confusing.
All right, how do you diagnose low impression share if you have a 10 out of 10 quality
Yeah, I
score?
don't understand this question, dude. Can you
I think I do.
it?
Yeah, so 10 out of 10 quality score is not really a big factor. And I'll tell you why. So low impression share, assume your cost per acquisition is less than your target cost per acquisition, good. Lost impression share rank might be high, but that just means you're not showing up high enough on the page. But if you're using an automated bidding strategy, that means you're not showing up high on the page for a reason. Like I have people I don't think are going to convert, so I'm only going to convert on them. So the impression share eligible to receive tooltip is confusing, yes, but it's based on your bidding strategy. But it's also look at your click share. Your click share is going to say the estimated number of clicks you received divided by the estimated number of maximum clicks you could have received, regardless of what you've done to make yourself eligible for something. So a bidding strategy of target cost per acquisition is going to limit your search impression share. You turn TCPA into maximized conversions, and you'll see your search impression share lost by even budget and rank shoot up, which means you can actually start to spend more and you'll actually have more impressions. Right now, it sounds like your bidding strategy is actually what's reducing it. Check your click share. If your click share shows that you're actually at a low percentile, it's your bidding strategy.
All that faster.
That's why it's recorded. Go back and watch it if you do.
Watch it on 2x speed. Max Vanders, a client is stuck at like 0.6 ROAS on his PMax test. Been running it for 3 weeks, 16 asset groups, 1 by category. Would you recommend merging them or anything else? Maybe go back to smart shopping for the moment. Talk to us in 3 more weeks.
God, well, you know what's funny is if you're having low ROAS, I don't know what else has been running and what the attribution model is as well. So these are all things that are tough to say. But let's say, for example, you're using first click or data driven. You have no other campaigns running at the same time, and it's the only thing that could be going wrong. I would actually, I would consolidate down into one for a test.
Wait, you would do that now? You wouldn't wait the 3 weeks? You wouldn't go for the full 6 week span?
Well, no, not. I mean, it depends. A 0.6 ROAS is fairly poor. So it's either that we have such low AOVs that it's never going to go higher. $10 product.
But it's learning, right? Like you just gotta let it learn.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Max. What are you spending?
Yeah. Here's the thing, and I'm assuming the best. If you're not spending over $100 a day,
spend is adequate. We don't have like some tROAS or TCP applied.
I have $100 per day spend. It's made 2 sales in 3 weeks, and they came in the first week, and nothing since then. All my other campaigns are amazingly performing, and the clouds are parting, and the heavens and angels are singing. Like I'm assuming like this is just not the right setup. Then yes, if we do have less than $100 a day, if we have competitive
5K
products,
per day,
yeah, or we have competitive products,
you're doing fine.
Yeah. This one is hard to diagnose via video because there's so many other things here that can be like, this is actually the reason. I have actually seen, and here's the thing, I've been fighting Google on this for a while. They're like, hey, whenever you're done building, John, just stick a generic one in there. I'm like, no, I don't want to. And I've stuck a generic one, and I got a 1.5 ROAS. It's lower than the 2.5 that I was going to get, but it did get a good amount of spend. So in here, it could be that you have URL expansion turned off and Google can't read your page. Again, I can think of literally 1,000 reasons. But
what's the industry, Max? Just out of curiosity, are these like Me Too, looky-loo stuff, or is this unique selling proposition? Do they have a solid product?
If you can put in the chat a few things: what's your daily ad spend? What's your average order value? What is the industry? And are you also selling on Amazon?
Oh, dude, that's the other thing, y'all. If you're selling on Amazon and you start running Google, all that happens is your Amazon sales go up, especially because half these people, I almost said morons, I'm so sorry, their Amazon product is listed at 20% less than the product. It's like, what are you doing? Of course that I'm going to go there. People aren't stupid.
Well, the other part too is what sucks is I can talk you into Amazon with one simple thing. It's like, yeah, but it's the same price. Okay. What's shipping? It's also free shipping. You have free shipping next day? No. Now I'm going to Amazon.
Dude, not just that, it's easier. My credit card's already loaded in Amazon. The
returns are easy. We actually have clients that we'll have clients that will actually undercut Amazon on their store and still offer free shipping. It might take 2 days later, but you're getting a better price. But you're also still under the 50% reduction that Amazon scoops right off your top. So we have actually strategies where it's like, yeah, go on Amazon, get free organic traffic there, spend a little bit of ad spend, but actually make your store a little bit more enticing, and don't stick all of your products on Amazon. Stick 4. Then this way, if something goes in and out of stock, like the website has so much more stuff available and it's cheaper.
Max says it's e-com with high AOV, 500 AOV, and no marketplaces. 500.
Sorry, what more time?
It's e-com with a 500 average order value and no marketplaces. That 500 AOV takes time too, though. I still think it needs time.
If you got a sale, one sale will put you at a 0.6 ROAS. It means you spent $1,100 so far, or $900 so far. How many sales have you had?
We'll come back to Max.
Yeah.
Give us more details, Max, and we'll help diagnose.
Dylan, try to flow everything you possibly can fit in that box. Everything that's pertinent.
What's up, Dylan?
Hey,
what is a good milestone indicator that I need to pass my ad account on to an agency like Soul8?
I've worked with you, Dylan, for a long time.
I would keep it, dude. You're too smart.
Well, here's the thing: Kasim's right. You're extremely smart. I don't think you need us yet.
I didn't mean to just bash all of our clients, by the way. Our clients are smart too, but here's the thing: is like,
I've been working with Dylan in a mastermind for months.
That's what I mean. Dylan is actually a Google Ads person with Google Ads expertise. So I always tell people, don't go learn Google Ads because you don't learn dentistry. You go to a dentist. Dylan already knows Google Ads, and nobody's going to watch it like you are day in and day out.
Well, Dylan was a 3X Shopify. Then he was mastermind for a long time. So I've worked with Dylan for like a year. So that's I don't know anybody else on this channel. So off the top of my head.
Dylan, do you want a job?
I know.
Come work with us, Dylan.
Seriously. Here's my thought: is we're not a very cheap agency, and the amount of money that I think I can give you back for your ad spend is not necessarily going to cover our fee to a point that it makes sense to pay us yet. And here's what I mean: as I know that you have a good amount of ad spend, but if my opinion would be take the money you are going to pay us and put that into your campaign for 3 months, because we require usually 90 days. So let's just call it like 6K. Put that 6K in your campaigns this next month, and without a tROAS, without TCPA, let it run wild and free at a higher ad spend. You're going to net us more money than what you did hiring us, but you're also going to learn a lot more. Let's just start there first. If you're gonna hire me, I would keep your same structure, your same type, dump it into PMax. Make sure that you have your asset groups are looking good, your ad headlines are good, and make sure that you're leaning into the automation a little bit more. Make sure URL expansion's on. Don't segment too hard, but throw a little bit more money into it that you would pay us. You're going to make more money because we're just going to take the fee as a profit to us. Essentially, you're not going to see that money back out of your ad spend. What I can get you back in your campaigns is what you're going to make. I don't think that we're ready yet. I would do exactly what I'm telling you to do if you pay me money. So don't pay me money. Try it first is what I'm trying to say.
Diamond Smile just joined as a good person. Thanks for being here, Diamond Smile.
Thanks.
All right, you ready for rapid fire?
Let's do it.
Mark Ferguson. Should I be running PMax for automotive dealers lead gen?
No.
This is John's jam, by the way. I don't know if y'all know this. He had an agency dealing with auto dealers for 9 years?
Yeah. Oh, hell, I'm sorry. I want to give a quick shout out. Justin's here. Togan. Hey, Justin.
What up, Justin?
Sorry, go ahead.
So don't run PMax for auto dealers?
You can. Here's the thing. Auto dealers right now in this industry, you have the person looking for what's in stock and what's not price gouge. So they're looking for very specific very specific makes and models. So Chevy Traverse, GMC Sierra, like you're going to have keywords that are very, very specific. My opinion would be know your dealer's stock, your dealer's inventory. If you can get a list of their stock IDs, or whatever it may be, if you can get a list of their stock IDs, identify what they have available, the more profitable and the more plentiful those inventory, make that a focus in an inbound search campaign, not PMax. PMax is too fatty for this. PMax, you're trying to tell large, wide open audiences, hey, I have this product available. You can do that. My opinion, though, is a person going and typing in Chevy Silverado in stock near me, I'm paying $5 for that guy. Or that girl. I just say guy as a person, but the stock is so low, the value or the market adjustments are so high, and people are looking for good deals locally if hopefully it's in stock. And I don't know the industry as well as I used to, but I hear that there's still some stock issues, but also that there's still a lot of price gouging because they're trying to make up for the money that they lost during the silicone chip issue that just happened this last year. But of course, with a economical downturn that's kind of starting to happen in the United States, car dealers are getting hit first with it. So my opinion is run search campaign, run it for profitable, run it for inventory first. Don't run it for PMax. If it's just a normal day to day like it was in 2019, PMax all day long. But right now, you're working on limited inventory. Go there first.
Arms of Andes. ROAS and listing groups don't appear to add up to the ROAS from the campaign level. Do the ROAS from listing groups take into account all sales and clicks across Google placements?
No. So our listing groups is only a smart shopping portion of your entire campaign. You're still going to get other sales on search and YouTube and GSP Discover Display that you're not going to see in your listing group.
Smart. Justin, I've been running my PMax for 6 weeks now, and it's getting 250% ROAS. My best asset group is an in-market audience getting 700% ROAS, but it's not spending that much. How can I get PMax to scale?
Justin, shoot me a quick email. Let's link back up. I worked with Justin to teach him and set it up. Justin's a client of ours. So
Justin's a client. I was about to say, what are you doing, John? Don't give away free consulting.
Well, it's not the client. It's Tokens Flash. Oh,
okay. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
so
Justin's a buddy is what you're saying.
Justin, well, it's an ex-client friend that I've been just kind of saying like, hey, here's what you need. We couldn't really offer too much more than what he was already doing. We fixed some conversion track. We got him in a good position. But that was like, we're good. Like it's good. So
you can pay me to sit here and watch it make you money. But...
Kinda, yeah. And Justin's an extremely intelligent individual that doesn't really benefit from a full-time John brand, but just a quick check-in. So Justin, shoot me a quick email. Let's link back up.
Michael Ariruguzo. I have a PMax campaign with a listing group of 3,000 SKUs. I'm unable to subdivide it more than 1,000 SKUs in PMax, which is concerning because in shopping campaigns, I subdivided my item ID to exclude low-performing SKUs. How else can I exclude low-performing products in a listing group with more than 1,000 SKUs?
I was going to drop my video here, but I can't because it's not edited yet to remove.
Is this the one that you posted yesterday?
Yeah. So, Michael, I have a difference of opinion. If you're looking at SKU performance in Google Ads, it might be wrong. You need to look at your SKU performance in Google Analytics.
There's a 16-minute video coming where John does a deep dive on this. I watched that yesterday. It was really good.
Yeah. So what you're going to see though, and here's my opinion. And Michael, before you make a decision, if you're already running Google Ads, here's the thing: is Google Ads going to say this product for $10 got a click and a sale, but the sale was from $7? You're like, huh? Or this product that's $10 got a click and a sale, and we made you $439. So what's happening here is the ad that was clicked on brought you revenue, but it doesn't mean that product was sold. So the SKU you have to find out is how much money am I driving to that SKU, and how much money is actually selling other products or very similar products. What is my best selling products? Once you know that, what is your best selling products? I would take that to then set up PMax. I would not assume that possible Google Ads data is best performing if you're using Google Ads data to identify your top performing SKUs. Let's keep this conversation going though, because I want to make sure I'm not assuming.
Motivational mindset, great content. Any advice on running PMax for lead generation for personal injury law firm?
Don't do it. That's one of my examples I just gave is that we try to run personal injury law and dog bite and slip and fall. We had to spend $50 a click on search just to make any real issue. You can run PMax. Just know that you're going far and wide. It's like Facebook. It's like Facebook. It's like, are you sitting there with a broken back on the floor of Safeway? You're like, man, I hope I see an attorney soon. No, you're going to go to there and be like, I need an attorney now. So my opinion is the reason why it's $50, $70, $80, $100 per click on search is because it works. I have not yet found success and a quality lead that we can work with that can afford us outside of the search channel yet.
Dave Fogel, where do you go to see quality score in PMax?
Oh, you don't see a quality score in PMax. There is a quality score in PMax based on the amount of impressions and clicks you can get from your campaigns. For example, if you have a low quality score in PMax, it means that there's something wrong. Like it can't read your site, or something's not configured correctly inside of either econ priority is not remarketing, or the dynamic marketing is working. Your quality score inside of PMax typically is your website readable, that is aligned with your asset groups. And if your website is readable enough to be in line with your asset groups, your search category should come through exactly what you want. If it does not, it's either your asset groups are wrong or Google can't read your site. That's what I would say quality score is. But there's
go do SEO. You do SEO on your site?
Yeah. You do SEO on your site and boom, PMax is going to work much better.
Bam. Alfred, is DKI for landers useless now with PMax? What is DKI?
I have no idea. I'm going to Google that.
Yeah. It's going to be embarrassing if it's something that we're supposed to know. What is DKI? Dynamic keyword insertion. Oh. Dude, I haven't used DKI and
I Googled DKI landers. I'm like, what the hell is a DKI lander?
I thought it was a landing page builder or something. I was like, what the hell is this?
That's what I thought it was. Okay, so dynamic keyword insertion for landers.
Wait, can you use dynamic keyword insertion in PMax?
You can, but you can't have shopping.
You can where? You just open bracket and it'll drop down?
Yeah, it'll work.
Have you tried this?
Yeah, well, when I first did it, yes. I actually had a video about it.
David says you should know this. You start your own YouTube channel, Dave. See how many people play gotcha journalism with you.
You know what's funny is the problem is let me do this. Now,
How would you do that in PMax? It's too...
Well, hold on. The question was the dynamic keyword insertion on the landing page. So I'm thinking what he's saying is like using if UTM score equals this and show this keyword, almost like Google Optimize or Optimizely.
That's what I'm saying. How would you do that though? Because you're not bidding on search terms. You're bidding on audiences.
No, what you would have is inside of your asset groups, you set the UTM parameter.
UTM parameter to push.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the page is going to show that. So if you're like, hey, this is my asset group, and this asset group is going to this signal, and this signal is these people, and if you get a click on any one of those ads in that asset group, I need the landing page to show this. You can't. You can't use shopping because shopping ignores anything.
That's not dynamic keyword insertion. That's dynamic keywords on the page. Dynamic keyword insertion is changing the keyword in the ad.
So the word landers there. That's what.
Oh, that's where we're confused.
That's what I'm saying. Dynamic keyword insertion for landers. I'm thinking landing page is dynamic keyword insertion. Yes, you can do that.
Keywords in the asset group is what Alfred just followed up with.
Hold on. Keywords in the asset. Oh, like putting it in the ad copy. Oh, in the ad. No, not in the ad. On the lander, yes. Not in the ad, though. Dynamic keyword insertion on the ad doesn't work. On the landing page, it does, based on UTM parameter. If you send it over, and if you're using Optimize or Google Optimize, you can't run shopping with that, though. That won't work. So in the ad, no, and the landing page, yes.
Okay. Alfred's saying not the ad on the lander. Okay. So that's actually not DKI then.
Well, it's kind of like, yeah, you can dynamically insert a keyword you're bidding on the landing page. If you are using, let's say, Optimize, it says if UTM underscore equals, change the content on the page to this, and then you'd stick your focus keyword in there. It was a hack to actually get a better quality score. Google caught on about it, and they got rid of it.
Tommy says, wow, Google isn't giving us anything about that transition, so I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here, Tommy.
I am pulling teeth at Google for you all, and well, for me too, but you're the benefit of it.
Beard just said, don't complain until you've been harassed by Facebook reps. I feel like that's definitely true. Can you please spend money?
It's like send you pictures of like your kids at school from afar. They're like, oh.
So funny. Casey Snow, are there any indications of improvements coming to reporting from PMax campaigns?
Yes. I'm under NDA.
Don't break NDA.
I know. I said I'm under NDA. Yes.
That's so funny.
Fool me once, go to jail. Right?
Oh, Dave said that they pretty much showed an editor in Keynote last week, so we're probably good with the NDA there.
Yeah.
Dude, I know.
Still compliant.
All right, here we go. Dave Ashley. When you launch new offers on a mature campaign, do you put your best audiences in one asset group or split them all up again?
When you launch new offers. Well, here's what's funny.
Nice campaign.
I actually, if we're talking about offers like promotions, I actually do not use promotions in PMax.
What about extensions?
I actually only use GMC. So that's actually here's what I found is that I was chasing my tail with promotions that kept screwing everything up. So it's like I add an asset group and then it slows down and I miss the sale. So I add it early and then it slows down and then I get the same results slightly better than I got shut off and then everything slows down again. I actually don't use any sort of new offers or promotions inside of Performance Max, period, just because of that reason. So if you want
to do Black Friday, Cyber Monday then?
GMC. What I found out with GMC promotions within Performance Max specifically is you can update the asset group's headlines if you'd like to, which we're going to do for something like Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
Oh, you can update the headlines.
You can. We're going to have to. It's going to hurt. It will. It will hurt.
It resets everything.
It doesn't reset everything. It just slows it down for a little bit. So yeah, like it's gonna suck. So, but if it's like, hey, we're running a 10% off sale because it's Thursday, I'm like, I don't care. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, yes, we have. The GMC promotion, though, because Performance Max goes on every single channel, the nice part about this is all of the shopping ads that go on YouTube and all the shopping ads that go on shopping and all the shopping ads that go on display and all the shopping ads that go on Discover, all of those, well, shopping ads are coming to Discover.
Did you just break? Did we just short out John?
No, we should be good there.
Oh God, John, did you just do it? We should have given information.
Stop bored about this. So you inherit all
Don't
the
draw attention to it. Don't tell anybody what happened.
You inherit GMC promotions through all those different asset groups, essentially, because they're inside the feed. So, when you're running smart shopping, if you ever run smart shopping and you run GMC promotion, you're like, hey, I see my remarketing ad shows a red tag of 27% off, and then I saw my shopping ad also run the special promotion. Imagine on every other channel. So,
but does the GMC push to every other channel? That's my concern. It's only going to show up in shopping.
Where
right? The feed is being pulled.
It pulls everywhere except
pull everywhere.
Except for search and except for discovery.
Display?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's stupid of me. Of course, display, because dynamic remarketing. All right.
So here's the thing: if you don't want to reset PMax, you throw it in the feed, or sorry, you throw it in GMC, and then the GMC in the feed goes on all those channels that actually matter, and because you still run YouTube product placement through PMax, absolutely, it does. Right, it's there all the time.
That's brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. I don't explain things well.
Jay, I like to think that this is Agent Jay in Men in Black. Any thoughts on DSA getting great ROAS on first day, $10 conversions, but only 3 of them, then no conversions at $200 a day, spend a few days later, keywords look perfect and not brand, testing max conversions. Did you change the budget, or was it always $200 a day?
That's my call. Any thoughts on a dynamic search ad getting great ROAS on first day running? Yes. So it depends on what happened before. So here's what I think took place. And this is my opinion. We see the same thing with Performance Max. It depends on what you were doing before and if you were doing something before, because this is what could happen. So let's say you're running on, let's say, search, and then let's say you have 3 keywords that are phrase match, and someone clicks on someone searches and matches your phrase match, clicks on your ad and goes to your website, then leaves, and maybe they're still searching around. When you launch DSA, it's like, all right, perfect. I'm going to nail that person, that person, that person. It has all the low-hanging fruit from your timeline that it identifies. You turn it on, it skips those people go away, and now it has to relearn. So that time when you start a new aggressive campaign, it's already watching everybody. You just gave it the ability to go after them. That's why PMax has instant success a lot of times, because it's like, Google's like, can you please just show a YouTube ad for this person for the love of God? And you're like, no, more search. It's like, show a YouTube ad for this person. You launch PMax, it's like, and it goes and gets them. They sell. And then all of a sudden you see, boop, you see this big conversion lift. Then you see it slow down a little bit, and then you see it pick back up. That big conversion lift off the front is a false positive. It's just basically scooping up all the people that Google already knows can grab, and then it's got to relearn. So launching a DSA campaign, I have had the same issue where it's like you get the few conversions, and sometimes the search terms look pretty good, but then you don't really see them come in. It's kind of starting fresh from here on. That could be a hypothesis of what's going on. I've seen that a few times.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because then when he mentions no conversions at $200 a day spend, it makes it sound like the spend was increased. If that happened, doesn't that immediately broaden the targeting, which could kind of limit the efficacy of the campaign?
I think what he was saying on the first day, if I was trying to spend $200 a day, I only spent $30 and I got 3 conversions at $10 each. And then I didn't get any more conversions, even though I'm still spending $20 a day. That's how I interpreted it.
What I read is I spent $30, got a bunch of conversions, popped it up to 200, and then it stopped working.
If that's the case, bring it down. Maximize conversions is going to do exactly what it's trying to do. Is if you give it $200 a day, it's like, perfect, I got enough money to spend $30, $40 per click. So my question is, if on day 2, 3, 4, 5, did you see your CPC increase? If so, back the spend down a little bit, give it more time.
You want it warm and fuzzy?
Yeah.
Leo, in December, John was doing a live Q&A like this. I said, I have an interview tomorrow. He said, they'll ask me about certain PPC scenarios.
I remember this.
I prepared accordingly and got the job. 5 months into my job. Thanks.
That's awesome. Good job, Leo. That's so cool. I remember you. I'm like, this is what you're going to have to be prepared to say. Like, this is how you measure. That's amazing. Amazing. That just made my whole week right there. That's awesome.
That is. Oh, hey, Jay, only spent $30 on the first day, then bumped it up.
Yeah. Okay. Then back it back down. Back it back down. I spoke.
Back it back down. Dave Fogel, will Google ever stop saying they have limited support options? Dude, did Google ever have support options?
They just downsized, so yeah. I don't think so.
Did they just downsize? They fired people?
Yeah. They just Google just downsized. I think by 10%.
Can you send me that? What from what workforce category? Like where?
Google cuts jobs as are part of an overall reorganization that includes shifting some support responsibility to third-party vendors.
Oh God, it's all going to T-Tech. What are those people called? They're here, dude, in Arizona. Did you know that? All those
Yeah,
Google reps are actually a third-party company here in Arizona, and then they've got some in India.
yeah, and it's April. Looks like it was mostly cloud, so I don't know what the cloud is though. But I heard it from a client, the client that we speak with very very frequently every day. They were like, "Yeah, Google just did a whole bunch of layoffs." I was like, "Really?"
Oh, was that Matt?
Larissa.
Okay, I was because Matt would know.
Yeah, Larissa.
He eats at
She
those
has,
tables.
huh?
I said he eats at those tables.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. He's the right
Dave,
person
I'm
to know.
skipping your question because I don't want to tell you. Alfred, how much to hire one of you for a consult? Well, John is $2,500 an hour, and I'm $1,500 an hour, and I don't think that should be a reflection on our character.
It's just a reflection of my ego.
Yeah, it's because if you hire me, I will be secretly slacking John, being like, "Hey, he's asking me this. What's the answer?"
If you hire me, it's $2,500 an hour. If you hire Kasim, it's $4,000 because then you pay him $1,500 and me $2,500.
That's right. You got to. But what I'll do is I think I'm a great interpreter. To give credit, like it's $1,500 worth of interpretation.
What's good here is there's two different levels of here. It's like I'm the one that's in the weeds that's like, don't ever press that button. And Kasim's like, here's how to kind of rebuild your whole foundation of your company. So we have a lot of good knowledge to give in slightly different areas. Anything past like when we're getting into like the weeds of Google and down to hyper specificity, it helps for me to be the person. But if someone's like, hey, I have this business and I'm having trouble like hiring and I can't find good talent, or I need a better offer, or I need to, kind of position myself as a different authority, Kasim's much better than I am. I'm like, okay, once you're done with all that, here's the buttons you press. Like it's a good yin and yang. Honestly,
They just said 1,500 plus a sandwich. So Alfred, just so you know, here's my advice: is don't hire us. Our consulting fees. Every time somebody starts to hire us for consulting, we raise our fees. So our consulting fees are set at the rate that we know people won't pay because we don't want to trade time for money. So if somebody were to say, "Are you worth it?" It's like, I'm just charging this because people were paying me $1,000 an hour, and I don't want to do consulting.
And for the
that
record,
USD or pesos. It's in gold bullion. Here's Dennis.
I had a burrito today, so I'd say pesos.
Hi guys, is it possible to delete the automatic created vids in PMax? Would you recommend running without videos or with them from a ROAS perspective?
Yeah, so the only way that you can kind of quote unquote delete them, the only way you can get out of them is by contacting your rep and asking to be opt out of the video network in Performance Max. Otherwise, it's going to continually automatically create them and you can't get rid of them.
Also, Dennis, which starting budget would you recommend if you had 6 SKUs and unlimited budget to make the most profit?
Well, it's kind of half the story. The first thing I would ask,
industry.
Well, what's the AOV? What is the LTV? And at that point, what's your profit margin? A limited budget to make the most amount of profit. My stupid answer to that would be, well, if I spend $1 million to make $16, yeah, that was an unlimited budget to make the most amount of profit. It's the most I can figure out. That's obviously stupid. So that's what I'm saying is like you'll have to have a guardrail. And you'll need to make sure that it says, okay, I have a limited budget if I can hit this point. There is going to be a point that you don't have a limited budget. And that's if you never make if you make one sale a year, you're not spending 10 grand a day. So you'll need to have the other half of that story for me to give you a good recommendation. I don't want to give you, kind of shot in the dark just because AOV and LTV and profit margin are also going to play a huge factor into that.
Dave, Facebook reps, I think, are better than Google reps, and I think cancer is better than AIDS. Dave, what point are you making here?
Right. You want to chop off a toe or a finger?
How do you want to die?
Pinterest reps are even one step higher. One step higher in hell. What's so sad is like you hear this Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram, and Google, like, get your reps in order. Like, geez, like if you make a tough thing, like just produce some content about the right way to use it. I mean, it's amazing. Like I can't believe how much we've been able to build out an agency and employ this many people and help this many companies simply because we know how to use a tool better.
Dude, we shouldn't have jobs, really.
No.
If Google did their job, we wouldn't have jobs.
Like they sell hammers at Walmart right off the shelf because you know how to use a hammer as a tool. Like this one is like, here's a handleless hammer. Hire that agency to figure out how to use it. It's like
Arms of Andes. For an e-com brand, wouldn't having URL expansion turned on send too many people to the wrong landing pages? Example, a female searching for leggings would click on an ad to take her to men's long sleeve. You and I disagree on this, by the way. Your answer first, John.
Yes, but you can actually exclude pages. So if you have, let's say, a campaign, and that campaign is going to leggings, leave URL expansion on, leave all of your listing group for leggings on, and hop into your settings and go into the URL exclusion list and exclude men's long sleeves and everything else that does not equate to female leggings. However, a person that might be searching for, my wife buys my clothes. Okay, I'm going to let that out of the bag right now. Like that was the embarrassing part of my.
Is there anything embarrassing about that? My wife buys my clothes.
Good. My wife buys my clothes. So what I'm saying is, a person is going to find what they're looking for, and what you're doing is saying, I know what people should see regardless of what they're looking for. My opinion would be all right, and also I have another small use case. Try URL expansion first, and then try off. Every single time we've tried it off, on always work better. In reports, there's actually a way for you to find out the landing pages that Performance Max is sending traffic to, and it surprises you. Can I share that on screen?
Who's the client?
Doesn't matter. Let me see. Yes, section 119. That's perfect.
All right.
So let me do this.
This is really, Dave goes, your wife loves the hell out of plaid. And then Alfred goes, as long as you don't wear your wife's clothes.
Let me tell you the second thing you didn't know about me.
John lifts his shoe. He's like phenomenal heels.
Okay. So just as there's never an explanation of like how awesome we are. It's more of a trust me, this is working, and here's proof that's working. So this last 7 days we spent $7,000, made 33. Performance Max spent 6 to make 27, and then Brand Made spent $20 to make 5K. It's brand. It's easy. Go into reports. Go into the reports dashboard here, and then what you're going to do is you're going to build your own custom report. And go. Let me do this. Let me kill my camera. Can you not see me anymore? Right?
I can't see anymore. I'll kill my feelings.
Yeah. Well, I'll come back when Google loads. Anyway, you build your own report and you get to see the landing page that, oh, of course now it works. Actually, let me just build this real quick and I'll just share screen after it's all done. So it's the campaign and then the landing page and then the conversions. Okay, and go.
While you're doing that, Max just posted this. I think it's interesting. One of our clients, Pinterest reps.
I clicked share and I think it's going to start to share here. Did you see it?
Yep.
Okay. So sorry. I clicked share after you started saying that. So there's the campaign, there's the landing page, there's the conversions. If you filter, just grab the campaign name here. And if you do a filter and you say campaign name, and then you actually put the campaign name here, and then you go out further, like let's just say, let's go back to like March 1st, and then go down to what's May, June 3rd. That's cool here. Hit apply. And what we're going to see is that, this Grateful Dead blue dry. Okay, so I see, you can't get clicks, you can't really get impressions. I can see like what page was traffic to that ended up what conversions. I don't think the clicks work, so I tried to do clicks and it just gave me nothing. Let me see this. Oh, yeah, I got clicks now. Cool. So check this out. I get to see the Performance Max sending to what landing page is having what clicks and what conversions. So 386 and 71. Okay, that's probably return traffic and brand. But 234 and 35 clicks on the this campaign here, this collections page. That's pretty good. So if you're saying, okay, I'm going to turn URL expansion off, you better have an asset group for this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, that you can send your DSA traffic to, because it's currently doing that. When you turn this off, goodbye all of the ones you did not build out an asset group for.
On that note, Steve Babula says, when you have GMC attached to our PMax campaign, URL expansion does not work. All defaults to your GMC URL. I was hoping you would know.
That's a Google Merchant Center, like a feed. I'm seeing that here.
Yeah, I think you might have that.
I'm not sure what you're saying.
Funky there, Steve. Sorry. Yeah. All right, last question because I'm tired. Well, Asi just dropped one more in, so we'll do 2 more questions. In a hyper-segmented campaign, how would we analyze the sales metrics not a part of shopping? Since at campaign level, I can't differentiate between all the asset groups.
In a hyper-segmented campaign, how would we analyze sale metrics not a part of shopping? Oh, yeah. You kind of can. It's a little bit of 2 things.
Cash out.
Yeah. Well, what you do is like, it's kind of like the process of elimination. It's like, okay, what did you spend and what did you make? Okay, now minus your spend on listing groups and minus what you made on listing groups. Now what did you make? And then take your average CPV and then multiply your average views. And that will tell you how much you spent on YouTube. And that's kind of where the specificity ends.
This wasn't a question, by the way, but I just want to shout out the answer. There's an easier way to do it. Watch landing pages on account level, then filter the campaign you want.
Ooh. Let's see. Let me go try that. Landing pages. Nope. There's no landing pages when you click into Performance Max. I see it in like search. Yeah, I don't see it in Performance Max though.
It's funny because there's a lot of things like that where if I'm on an account level, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be able to see this in Performance Max, and then.
So I think this is what you're saying. Let me see here. Can you share my screen? Because that's something you can do. There we go. So in like for landing pages, yeah. So I have my landing pages here, and then I click into the Performance Max one, and there's landing pages goes away.
Can you go back one, and then add a filter?
Ooh, good idea.
Campaign type.
Campaign. Performance Max. Hey, there you go. Good job.
Yeah. That's from Ace. What a great name.
Great job. Thank you. I tried that too, and I was like, all right, Performance Max. I'm like, it goes away.
That's what I thought he meant too, but yeah, that's super cool.
Nice. Now look at that. You taught us something. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. That is
hey, great. We got another good person. Tamara Day Bruin. Thank you for joining. Cool. We love you all dearly and deeply. We want you to be so successful on Google. And any last words, John?
I just appreciate you all. That's all I really want to say. Like, when we like Aussie Ace, like when you're like, hey, you go here and you do it that way. Like I was doing it the wrong way, and then Kasim had the idea that I'll make your note work well. So I want to say, like, all the people that ask questions that also hopefully gain some knowledge out of this too as well. Like I just love how collaborative we all are. So I just want to say I appreciate you all very, very, very much. Like really,
we like being challenged too. Like it's a meritocratic environment. We're not,
Yeah. I don't. It's never like. That's never thing. I never want to be like, oh, John's like an authority. Like I just made more mistakes than everyone else. Over the years, I pressed more wrong buttons and got yelled at more, and I'm like, okay, got it. That's what not to do. So really appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's crazy too because we maintain like 40 to 50 people live the entire time. We've been on for 90 minutes. I can't imagine who would want to listen to us talk for 90 minutes, but it's pretty cool that happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I really appreciate you also.
Dave says we could appreciate you more if it wasn't 4 p.m. on Friday on the East Coast.
Hey, these are recorded for a reason, Dave.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, you'll probably get more out of it if you didn't heckle us.
That's right, Dave. All right, y'all. Happy Friday.